Summer is here, or at least it feels like it. So we're going to be going over my top 10 summer designer fragrances for 2024. It's always weird here where I live because spring is usually pretty short-lived in terms of the actual spring-like temperatures. You might have a couple weeks of, nice, tolerable, just cool temperatures, not too hot, not too cold, just nice. And then it just goes straight into summer, and that's kind of where we're at right now. We've been getting a lot of sun, a lot of heat. And so pretty quickly I have to switch over from my spring dedicated scents into some of my summer ones, and I have to get going on those pretty early. So I'm going to be sharing with you what I'm looking forward to wearing most, and also what I typically do wear the most, because that kind of carries over year over year. Sometimes some new ones will make it into the videos. A lot of these, though, might be familiar faces as well. And like I said, only designers here, trying to keep it relatively affordable. This first one is Dolce Gabbana Light Blue Summer Vibes. I like this one. It's not better than Light Blue Forever or Italian Love or anything, but it is pretty good, and especially in terms of some of their newer releases, I like it. It's got cypress, amberwood, and lemon, and it's actually pretty similar to Light Blue Eau Intense, just with a little bit more of an aromatic take. So you get a little bit of that saltiness, that sweet amberwood, the oceanic notes, some citrus, but the cypress here is what really makes this one stand out, and it's what separates it from the original and Eau Intense and pretty much all of the others. It gives it a little bit more of a modern feel, and that's not to say that the other light blues aren't, because they're still new and they still do smell like they could work in this day and age, right? They're not that old. But especially now with the direction that men's fragrances are going, this one just kind of fits in. It's a little bit more trendy currently. They're also back to the 125 ml bottles with this, so you guys might remember they had a little bit of a deviation. They went over to the 100 mls for Light Blue Italian Love and Forever, and those were also eau de parfums. And so now they're kind of moving back to more traditional styling here with the 125s and the eau de toilette. Different perfumer as well. And this one was actually done by Alberto Marias, which I think is really cool, and of course he knows what he's doing, especially with summer fragrances. So I do like this one. The styling and the name might make it sound a little bit lame. You might pass on it, but actually try it out. It's better than you might think. Next up, we have Carolina Herrera Virgin Mint. Now this one is going up in price a little bit, at least in terms of what we're going to be covering throughout the video. So, it's not going to be for everybody. It's not going to be within range for everybody, but it's a little bit more of a premium option if that's kind of what you're after, still sticking with a designer. And no surprise here, but this one has a lot of mint, a lot of green notes, a lot of citruses and musks, and a little bit of a white floral component. Very, very light and mild though, but that mint is great. It's like a spearmint almost. Just a little bit of a sweetness, some nice texture, some bite to it, but it's not overly minty. It's not peppermint or anything like that, which sometimes can smell like a winter style scent. You think of peppermint mochas and everything else peppermint related that might be candy canes, which is going to be more associated with winter and Christmas, but the spearmint here, nice and crisp and bright with this very, very ever so slight sweet texture. This smells really good. I love mint in fragrances, and it's not utilized nearly as much as some other more common notes like bergamot and your other citruses and fruits and other green notes as well. And so I like the way it's done here. You really pick up on it. Really nice high quality mint accord. This one would also be great for spring too. So spring, summer, whatever it might be. If it's warm outside, the sun's shining, this one just fits right in. Next up, we have Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Platine Privé. I absolutely love this, and I am so glad that they brought it back for the time being. I brought this up before, but remember, this is being marketed as a limited edition. So they're taking the guesswork out of it this time. When you're kind of blindsided by cologne and cool just disappearing out of nowhere, and maybe those were maybe Cool was announced as a limited edition. I don't remember, but I know Cologne especially was very surprised to see that one being discontinued. So it's known, it's a known fact that this one won't be around forever. Every so often it pops up on discounters, and when it does, you should jump on it because, again, it's few and far between. Retail price, it's pretty much available, but getting it below that's a bit more of a challenge. Anytime rare, discontinued, hard to find fragrances or brand new releases do hit discounters, I do send out an email and a text notification. It's free to sign up to that stuff and can really save you a lot of time and money and headaches, so you can sign up down below. But this is the fresh version of this DNA. So getting some citruses like grapefruit in here. Still getting the almond, okay, but you're not getting like any tobacco or plum or smoke or, boozy notes or anything like that, like in the new Parfum. It's just lighter, fresher, still getting some sweetness and still getting the almond, just not to the quite same level. If I had to describe this one in one word, I would say it's creamy. Okay, and then to pile on top of that, it's silky, it's smooth. There's just something very addicting about this one. And another word I would use to describe this one is classy, and that really goes for the entire lineup, but this one especially. And there aren't too many summer fragrances out there or warm weather fragrances out there that have this style of class to it. Like, this smells premium, high-end, luxurious. This would be great for if you were attending some sort of more dressed up event in the summertime, a dinner or something, or a date or whatever it might be where it's very formal. This would be the perfect match. At number 7, we have Gucci Guilty Parfum, an easy one to hate. The entire lineup is easy to pick on. Gucci Guilty, just the original, Gucci Guilty Black, all of those, right? They don't necessarily get a ton of love and respect, at least in the fragrance community. Now, outside of the community, they're selling like crazy. Gucci Guilty Black, I've heard from many people that it's their signature scent. And it just works. It makes sense. And that one, it's a little bit deceiving because it's a green scent. It's very green, bright, and fresh. It's a summer scent as well. The name is a little bit confusing. And this Parfum is also a fantastic summer scent, okay? Very sweet, fruity, fresh, okay? So the sweetness in here is super unique, and I can't really describe it. It's not necessarily a bubblegum sweetness, but it's not necessarily like a dry sweetness either, like, a nutty sweetness or anything like that. It has this unique texture to it that I just don't really get in too many other scents. It's a Parfum. It has great performance. It's a little bit expensive, but it's worth it. It pays off in the long run. It's a really nice one for warm weather. At number 6, we have a brand new fragrance. I like this one. I think it's really good, and it's been pretty popular already. It is Les Beaux Paradise Garden by Jean Paul Gaultier. So Les Beaux Les Parfums, very popular, and then even the original is pretty well liked. But then jumping over to the Le Male lineup, Les Parfums, Elixir, and even, of course, Ultra Male, very popular as well. They have a lot of big scents, big releases. And so this one, it just took off immediately. And I see why. It truly is a fresher take on the original Les Beaux and Les Beaux Les Parfums. You do get some of that coconut, tropical sweetness and style, but it is greener and it is fresher. And, I think the original is definitely a kind of a summer vacation-oriented scent. It would be too sweet for some people's taste. Les Beaux Les Parfums still has that kind of coconut, tropical deal going on, but it's sweeter and richer. Definitely going to be a bit too much for some people in terms of wearing it in the summertime. I think they solved that point of contention for a lot of people with this one. It still is sweet, don't get me wrong, but that's just kind of the direction that men's fragrances are going in general. Summer scents, winter scents, everything in between. They're just getting sweeter and sweeter, but this one is a bit more palatable for the warmer weather. I've been wearing this one here when it's been sunny and 80, and it really getting hot out, and it does great. It really is going to be, I think, a very popular bestseller once it stabilizes and it's easier to get, because right now, being that it's new and that it's hyped up like crazy, it's hard to find. Again, this is another one that's popped up a few times and I've sent out a notification, so make sure you jump on there if you want to be notified when this and any other hot new release comes in. Breaking into the top 5, we have Terre d'Hermès Eau Givrée. So this is taking place of Eau Très Fraîche, which was pretty popular, pretty well liked until it was discontinued, and they did that because of the ongoing IFRA restrictions. I did a video on that. There was quite a few scents that were reformulated or discontinued due to that. This one is just kind of what came along right after, since, you know, they had to tweak it to the point where it was different enough to where you could notice, essentially. And so instead of just pretending like, oh, it's just, nothing's different, we just reformulated it and not telling anybody, they did some due diligence and they just discontinued that one and released a new summer version. And this one's really good as well. I still probably at the end of the day prefer Eau Très Fraîche. That being said, Eau Givrée is still nothing short of incredible. And you guys know this Terre d'Hermès DNA, orangey, woody, very classy and masculine as well. And this one simply is just a summer take. So brighter, citrusy, has a slight watery feel. There's a lot of citron in here, so it is pretty sour off the opening, but it does work really well when it's super hot outside. At number 4, we have YSL Eau de Parfum Intense. I love this stuff. This is a fantastic release. I am super happy with it, and it is by far going to be taking place of the Eau de Parfum for me. You know, in the beginning, I was like, yeah, I don't know, I'm still probably gonna wear the Eau de Parfum a lot. It's gotten to the point where that isn't so much the case, because before this, I would wear YSL Eau de Parfum pretty frequently. Even Eau Fraiche would wear from time to time when it's hot outside. But YEDP, the Les Parfums, those two go hand in hand for me, and I would wear them a lot. The Eau de Parfum Intense came out, and I have backed off of both of those considerably. So this is kind of becoming my new go-to for the line. And even the new Y Elixir, which definitely caught a whole load of hate, it's one that I'm really enjoying a lot as well. But especially Eau de Parfum Intense, they're just taking away some of that overbearing sweetness, and it just makes it a lot easier to wear. And also it makes it to where I don't get sick of it or fatigued by it as much, because Y Eau de Parfum, Y Les Parfums, very sweet. I wear that a few days in a row. I get to where I'm kind of over it for a little bit. I need a break because, again, it's just a lot. This one doesn't have that. Much more aromatic, much more fresh, with still enough sweetness to keep everybody else hooked, but it's just a much more refined version, and I love it. And that also makes it a fantastic pickup for summertime. I would wear Eau de Parfum and Les Parfums in summer often. That's when I would wear them the most, and they are sweet, but this one, it's even easier to pull off, and it just works great. So breaking into the top 3, you know, this is where it always gets interesting, because it just, things get switched around. I really am harsh on myself on where I place things like this, but at the end of the day, if it's making it in this top 10 video at all, it's good, because I have a lot to choose from. If it's making it in the top 5, it's really good, because again, I have a lot to choose from. If it's making it in the top 3, they're just no-brainers. I think everybody should have them. The number 3 is Rasasi Howes. It's usually a $40 to $45 scent most of the times, and typically around this time of year, it's selling out quick more often than not, because people are wanting to get it for summer. I talk about this one all throughout the year, so even if it's winter time, you know, you should have picked this one up by now, and you know, just to kind of be prepared. But if you haven't, there's still hope. It'll come back up in stock, no problem, and it might be in stock right now. It's the Invictus Aqua DNA. You guys have heard it time and time again, but that's how I have to explain it, because it's the easiest. And I'm sure you've kind of seen that Invictus Aqua 2024 has been announced. I'm really curious about that. You would think I would be more excited, because you guys can look back at my old videos where I've been talking about Invictus Aqua 2016 being one of my favorites, and that DNA is still one of my favorites for summer, but it also exists right here for 40 bucks. and it's something you can buy that's being produced and has been produced since 2015. You don't have to hunt it down like you have with the Invictus Aquas over the years. So yeah, if it wasn't for Rassasi House, if I didn't have this or this didn't exist, I would be pumped and thrilled for Aqua 24. But because I have this, you know, I'm kind of set. That being said, I still am excited to try it. I'm curious to see what they have done with it and if it could even be better than this somehow. So I will get that one as soon as I can. But this one here, guys, plum, apple, bergamot, watery notes, ambroxan, that's kind of the gist of it. Such a fun, playful, carefree, easygoing summer scent. It is so good. People absolutely adore this stuff. You have got to get this one in your collection if you don't have it. It's one of the best summer scents you can get. At number 2, we have Acqua di Gio Parfum. So you guys know for me, personally, again, this is my video, my list, Acqua di Gio Profumo has been a summer staple of mine for years, going all the way back to 2017-ish before I started my channel, it was, and then 2018, 2019, just beyond. Acqua di Gio Profumo has been a summer staple of mine. Love wearing it in the summer. And this is Acqua di Gio Profumo in a nutshell. Very minor differences, okay? But for the most part, that's taking replacement right here. So if you were to go out and buy this, you would just be getting the Parfum because that's kind of what you can get right now. And I believe this one's down to like 120 bucks for 125 ml. These are the 125s, yes. So really not too bad. True Parfum concentration, just like Profumo was. Really good performer, a little bit of a slightly smoky take on the Acqua di Gio DNA. It might not sound like a summer scent. I assure you, you can pull this one off in summertime with no problems at all. Even when it's really hot, really humid, I have done it. Now, my preference is summer evenings for this. I think it is a work of art, a beauty for summer evenings, but even during the day, no problem either. So what crept its way back up to the number 1 spot this year for 24? It's one that I'm going to really make an effort to wear more because it's one of those deals where I get busy, I am gravitating towards things that perform better, and this one gets pushed back. That really is kind of the truth with Dior Homme Cologne. I get going in the morning, and if I want to wear a cologne, typically I'll grab something that performs better because then I'm set for the day, right? Have a lot of stuff going on, whatever it may be, don't have to worry about it. This one is a bit trickier because it does wear off quicker than others, so you have to be mindful of that. I think this would be a great one to splash on if you're, you know, gonna be going and doing something in the morning and then maybe taking a shower and switching up later. It's a good one to splash on if you're gonna be, you know, going swimming sometime in the afternoon and something's gonna get washed and you're gonna switch up. You know what I mean? So there, you kind of can think about, okay, when could I benefit from having something that doesn't perform as good to where it's not getting necessarily wasted? You know, just different ways to think about it. It'd be a great one to wear just, you know, if you just want something light that isn't going to be bugging you. If you're outside working in the yard in the sun, sweating, you're wearing Rassasi House, that's going to be too sweet. It's probably going to get on your nerves. This one is a bit more cooling and refreshing. So, you know, for me, that's going to be my goal, is to wear this one more because it is one that I absolutely love the smell of, but I just don't always give it as much attention as I would like. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me, my top 10 summer designer fragrances for 2024. Let me know what you're going to be wearing down below. I'll link all these to discounters, and again, if you want to be notified of brand new releases hitting discounters or rare discontinued fragrances coming into stock, jump on my mailing list, texting list. I will let you know when that happens. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.